Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in January last year I did an unboxing video of the WhamBam Flexible Build System. I installed it onto the D-Bot soon after that video, so I've been printing with it for about a year now, and I thought it was about time that I did a review. So let's roll the intro and check it out. Okay, so let's briefly go over what the WhamBam Flexible Build System is, if you didn't see my last video on it, or if you haven't heard of it. So the WhamBam Flexible Build System is basically a removable spring steel sheet that's held onto your printer with a really strong magnet. It's rated up to 150 degrees C of continuous heating without losing its magnetism. And what that basically allows you to do is remove that build plate from the printer and swap in another one and just carry on printing, and it allows the print to cool down before you try and remove it, because they can still be a little bit warm and soft on the bottom and you could deform your print. So it's quite good that you can take it away, leave it and let it cool down. So that's basically what the system is. It's the sort of thing now you're seeing on a lot of 3D printers, because it's just so convenient to have that system. Now what makes the WhamBam system unique is that it's available in 24 different sizes. Now 23 of those sizes are available in what is called the system, and the system is basically a magnet that goes on your printer, a spring steel sheet, and then a PEX build surface. So PEX PEX is WhamBam's own formulation print surface, and it's basically formulated to be really sticky when it's warm towards plastic, and it really helps hold the prints down. And that's the one that comes with the systems when you buy them. But what's really cool also is that they allow you to buy everything separately. Now the one build surface size that isn't available in the system is the one made to the right size for the Prusa Mark III. Now the reason for that, of course, is because the Prusa has a magnetic heated bed, so you don't need the magnet, you just need the build surface. So that's really cool. So like I say, there's loads of different sizes to fit all different sorts of printers, and because they sell everything separately, you're free to basically build the system however you want. So they have the magnets, the spring steel sheets, and they have those three build surfaces. So those three surfaces are PEX, like I said, PEI, and PC, which just stands for polycarbonate. And I suppose that's a bit like build tack in the fact that it's got a slight texture to it to hold on to prints, and that would be really good if you haven't got a heated bed, which a lot of the cheaper 3D printers nowadays necessarily don't have. So that's basically an overview of the WhamBam Flexible Build System. So the next, what I'm going to do is just bring you in and show you how I've got it installed on my printer and talk about how I use it. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got the build surface installed onto my D-Bot Core XY printer. So this is the 310 by 310 build surface, and the magnet is the same size. And basically all you would do is print as you would normally do. So you obviously have leveled your build surface, and you don't want it to be really smushed into the surface. Just sort of, if you look online for the ideal first layer, you'll see what I mean by not too squished down, but obviously not too high that it doesn't stick. So basically you'd carry on print as you normally would, and then what you can then do is remove this part of the build surface. So this is the flexible build plate. It's got WhamBam laser etched on the front there. So if you see by mine's a little bit dull, and the reason for that is that when you install the PEX surface, the instructions tell you to use the provided steel wool and some isopropyl alcohol to basically give the surface a scuff, and that helps with adhesion. So you're not going to get like the glass glossy finish that you would with PI or even glass, but it's a nice smooth matte finish and it looks really nice. So what I normally do about every 5 to 6 weeks, or if I particularly notice some curling on a large flat surface, is that I will re-scuff up the surface, and that's why mine's a little bit dull, because I've obviously had it for over a year and then I've been re-scuffing up the surface. But basically it's a completely flexible surface, and it just works really well. So I've printed several different types of filament, PLA, ABS, an ABS nylon, TPU, wood-based filament, loads of different ones, and it's held nearly every single one of those prints. The only time it doesn't hold is if I've done something wrong with the settings, or if I haven't got quite enough heat into the build plate. So it's recommended that you would print, or you would have your build plate about 10 degrees hotter than what you would have had it without the system on. So I tend to do about 70 degrees for PLA, and that works absolutely fine. And then anything from 80 or 90 up to 110 for ABSs and nylons and stuff like that. But yeah, so there's certain things you have to do to get it to work as advertised, basically, and it does. It works really, really well. So let me just change the camera again, and we'll have a little discussion on some of the things I do like about the system, and then there's a couple of things that I'm not too happy about, but they're not against the system as such. So let me just reposition the camera. Okay, so as you can see there, that's how I've got the WhamBam system installed on my printer. So what I wanted to show you now is the procedure that I go through before every single print. So assuming that the flex plate is on the printer, and I normally take it off, flex the print off and put it back on, what I do is give it a quick clean with some isopropyl alcohol, IPA. And I do this before every single print. So you just get whatever bottle you have your IPA in. I've just got it in this little squirty bottle, and it works really, really well. You just give it a couple of quick squirts, then get a kitchen towel and then just wipe the whole build plate. And because IPA is an alcohol, it basically evaporates really quickly, and that's gone. And now that is clean, and that is what I do before I start a print, and that guarantees there's no greasy finger marks or dust from around just being in the office. So yeah, so let's now move on to the next part of the video. Okay, so we've talked about what the WhamBam Flexible Build System is, and you've seen how I've got it installed on my printer, and I have been really happy with the way that the product performs. It's held on to all of the prints that I've printed on it, apart from where I've made mistakes, and it holds really well. So, you know, this Mandalorian helmet is one solid print, apart from the very top, which if you look on my Instagram or Twitter feed, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this was printed in one go, so this is a 3-day print, and that is the bottom of the print. Okay, so there's not a lot of contact there that's going to be actually on the build surface. Now you obviously have a bit of a brim, and then there's support material as well, but for it's a build surface to hold on to what is quite a small area and a large print for as long as it did, just talks about how well the system works. So that's really good. And I've had many prints like that. There's prints that you can take the build system off literally hold the plate upside down and they will not come off. They are stuck perfectly on there. So I'm really happy with how the system has performed. I've recommended it to several other people, and they've all, once they've seen what I've got, and I've also tested the Monoprost Mini Delta system before it actually went to a product that they sold, and that's a tiny little plate, and the quality in the build quality from WhamBam themselves is really good. It's a high standard of build quality. So they've seen both those systems working and they've purchased them themselves. They're really happy. So from that point of view, it's a definite recommendation from me. The only 2 points that take a little bit away from it, so we're talking like 4.5 stars out of 5, is the cost and the availability. Now, like I said, the build quality is brilliant, second to none. And that does come up at a little bit of a cost. So I believe the 300 by 300 system is $89 plus delivery. So that's quite an expensive build system for a 3D printer, in my opinion. However, now that I've got the system, I would only have to buy the build plate, the spring steel sheet, and the surface itself. And what I could even do is just buy the surface and put that on the bottom of the spring steel sheet that I've got. So I wouldn't have to buy the whole system again. But still, it is quite an expensive product. But I still do say it's worth it. The only other slight downside is the availability. Now, as I understand it currently, WhamBam's an American company that ships out of China for a lot of the products they sell. I think there's a few that they have in America that they send out, but there's certainly overseas. Now, as I understand it, that is changing. They've got some European sellers that are out there. I don't think they've actually got stock yet, and when I last checked, they didn't. So this video is going to be going out in May 2020, early May, like the 4th of May today. So that's changing. That will obviously help with getting the product to you, because it can take quite a while. And I would hope that perhaps the delivery cost will be a little bit cheaper coming from Europe for the Europeans that are watching this video. So they're the only 2 points that takes half a star away. So it's 4.5 out of 5 stars for me. And I do really like the product, so it's a definite recommendation. So if we talk now about other products that WhamBam do, because they're not just a one-trick pony. They've got obviously they've got merch, but they've also now got the slap mat, which I have got one on the way. And what that is it's a silicone mat that you can use. You don't have to use it for 3D printed related things, but it's designed, I believe, to go underneath the resin printers to help with cleanup and just any spillages, and it will basically stay on the mat and protect anything you've got underneath. They also sell a product called the Hot Box, which is a collapsible, I think it's got zips that you zip up, and you basically create a box that you can pop over the top of your printer, and it just helps keep the heat in if you're printing stuff like ABS, because ABS likes to be kept warm when it's actually printing. So WhamBam have got a couple of products out there that I would definitely recommend you have a look at their website. There'll be a link down in the description. And if you've got any questions about the system that I've got, please put them in the comments below, and I will try and answer them for you. But other than that, I think that is the end of the review. To summary, I'm very happy with it, and it's a definite recommendation from me. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and until next time, keep on making.